2003 F250. We got a 7.3 diesel that has pressure in the coolant system. So either it's going to be blown head gaskets or injector cups. So the first thing we're going to check is injector cups. To get the injectors out, you got to take valve covers off, which means charge pipes have to come off, air cleaner, plastic piece there, and then we'll get down to the valve covers and get those things off. First, what we're going to do is get the air box and stuff out of the way, and then you can get down here. You see that right there is the 11 millimeter that take off to take this charge pipe side off, and this right here, and this right here, and this one down here, and then those charge pipes kind of snake up out of there. So now that we got those intercooler pipes out of there, I know this looks tight, but we got to kind of keep the coolant system hooked up because I have to pressurize it after I take the injectors out. But next thing we need to do now is get this valve cover off. So you're going to take loose all the bolts. The two way back here on the back side, you have to go, I have to lay on this thing and go all the way up underneath here with a small ratchet to get these two from the back. And then where it's tucked in right here, I think I maybe need to take this out of the way. I might be able to snake this out of there without taking that compressor out of the way. And then on this side, it is taking this thing out of the way, unplugging this and moving it out of the way, take that plug out, and then just take this valve cover off. This is the easy side. All right, so it looks like I got crap running through here and I've got to get this compressor off. I'm just going to take it off and move it over here out of the way, and then take this bracket off that's below it and just get that stuff out of my way so I don't have to fight this valve cover because it's already a pain. Unplug everything, and then you don't have to unhook the AC. You can just set it out of the way so you don't have to discharge it. Just like that. All right, so now you got this compressor up out of the way, and we got to get this bracket off right here. So there's 113 in the center right here to take this tensioner off, and then 1, 2, 3, maybe one more on the bottom, 4. It takes this whole bracket off in front. Cheater. Okay, now you can see we got room. So this was all pinched in there. I got to get that off. And I got to fight it out of the way of this box too. So it'll be a lot easier just to hold these up out of the way. I'll take all the bolts out of the valve covers and get those things out of there. So for this, I use a 13 millimeter and a small 1/4 inch ratchet, and I got to reach all the way back in here under here to get the last two off the back. All right, so taking that bracket off definitely was worth not fighting that thing out of there. So now I'm going to get the other valve cover off, and then we will come back here in just a minute and we will take out each one of these injectors. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one's back there. We got to get those injectors out, and then the injector cups are down in there, and they're in the water. They're part of the water jacket, so if they leak, it'll put pressure in the coolant system. So that's what we're checking first. Let's get this valve cover off over here now. Alright, so now you can see down in here the injectors. It's easier to show you on this side, but what you do is you take out this 8mm bolt right here, and then this piece raises up out of the way and comes off of the top one. So I'll kind of show you that as I pop this out of here, but I'm going to unplug all these connectors and take this it's actually the gasket for the valve cover, but it's also the harness for the injectors that plug in here and here. So I'm going to take that off, and then I'll take these 8s out, and then I will pry these out of here, which usually takes a little pry bar to get them out because they're pretty stuck. We'll do these front two here first so you can see. Take that 8 out, this one out, and you see this pushes up and this pushes up, and then that releases it from the top bolt. And then you're going to take a pry bar like this, and you're going to push this part up, and then you're going to take this and pry underneath it like that, and it popped it up. Okay, now you're going to press this in more like that, and then the whole thing. And that is how you get those injectors out, with a little pry bar just like this. All right, here we are on the other side. Let's see what we got going with these cups. So now we can get down here and see all these injectors are out. You can see the cup there real good. That is the actual injector cup. It seals the coolant passage. And then the rest of them full of oil. And we're gonna suck out. All right, so what we've decided is we're gonna replace all these injector cups. So the first thing we gotta do is pull these out. So this is the set that we have. And this is the remover. And this is the installer. So we're gonna take these provided bolts right here, and we're gonna come right here with the tool. The arrow is going to go down. I'm going to put that in the hole like that, and then you're going to put these bolts that they give you in here, and you're just going to tighten them finger tight. So it's tight on there, but it's just finger tight. Got to loosen the nut in the middle. And then, when you know you're bottomed out on the cup, then you push down and turn this part until it screws into the cup a little bit. So it's a 19 millimeter. You're just going to push down and turn at the same time, and it doesn't take very many turns to grab a hold of it. You can kind of feel when it grabs it. Okay, I can feel it. If you go in too far, it makes it harder to get it out because it spreads it out. So I can feel that it just has grabbed it, and now we're going to turn just the center one, and it's going to pull it out. 1/2-inch drive because it has to fit over the outside part. Now we're going to tighten this, and it should pull that cup right out of there. It's not that hard. Hang out, and bam, there you go. Stuck on the end of the cup. Now you just unscrew that off of there. So after you unscrew it off of the tool, you can see where it engages the threads into the cup. All right, so we're going to take this wire brush right here, and I'm going to clean the inside of this hole where the contact surfaces are. Okay, so here is the hole after it's cleaned. It is clean and dry. And now we're going to put the cup back in. So we're going to take this tool, and we're going to put this on here. Kind of twist it and push. It goes on the O-ring. We're going to take the green Loctite and put it right here and right here on the two contact surfaces. After you put the Loctite on it, make sure your arrow is pointing down, and put it in the hole. Screw it down until it starts to make contact. And then we're going to put these back in. Take your 19 millimeter and you're going to tighten this thing down in there. And it says 35 foot-pounds once you get it tight. I just felt it kind of go in, but it says do it by feel, because 35 foot-pounds, it takes different. The instructions say do this by feel. It says 35 foot-pounds approximately once it gets tight, but to do it by feel because they all seat at different pressures. So right now we're still just going in. We're pressed. Okay, so we are tight now. I can feel it. It is bottomed out all the way. I've just got tight, and 35 pounds is not that much. So I'm going to say that's seated. And then I'm going to take this thing back out. And we've got to get it to come off that rubber O-ring. There. out. And there it is, brand new cup. Now I'm going to clean the extra Loctite off with a rag that's around there a little bit. And then we are going to continue on and do all the rest of these. So there's 7 more of them, and it's the same. The 2 on the back side back here are a little bit hard because the box is in the way, but it's still, you can get in there with the tool. So it's a little bit tighter, but it's doable. All right, so after you're done with the cups, you throw your injectors back in, tighten them all back down, and put your valve cover back on and put everything back together. And hopefully we don't have a head gasket problem still. We still may. I'm gonna get it together and run it, and we will see. All right, here we are, update, next day. So the cups were not the problem. We were hoping it was. Got the heads off today, and look at that. Definitely over boosted, and it went through here and popped this up into the water jacket, and then the rest of these are ballooned. You can see where they almost popped on the back side. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a bubble. But this one broke, and then it's pushing pressure into the coolant system. So this is where we ended up. The cups had to be done anyway because the heads came off, so we did those while they were in here. And now we will put new head gaskets on, make sure everything's straight, and go back together. That's the update. Head gaskets, too much boost, I think. Boost controller malfunction maybe. We'll see when we get it back together. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.